Have you ever noticed how some people radiate youthfulness even as the years go by? It's not just about genetics or expensive creams. There's a spiritual secret behind this divine preservation that few know. Billy Graham revealed 3 surprising spiritual meanings for those who look younger than their age, and the third will completely transform your perspective on the purpose of your life. How many times have you heard someone say, "Wow, you don't look your age"? Perhaps you yourself have wondered why some people seem to carry the weight of years, while others maintain a vitality that defies time. What might seem like just a casual compliment hides a deep spiritual truth that Billy Graham, one of the greatest evangelists of the 20th century, understood like few others. Today, we will delve into a fascinating study based on a transformative message by Billy Graham about why some people are spiritually preserved beyond their chronological age. In a world that ages through anxiety, stress, and worries, this message has never been as urgent and necessary as it is now. Before we continue, if you seek life-transforming biblical truths and messages that go beyond the surface, this channel is for you. Subscribe now and activate notifications so you don't miss any of our deep studies of the messages that mark generations. This powerful reflection on spiritual youthfulness arises from one of the many inspiring messages of Billy Graham, who throughout his ministry of over 60 years preached to more people than any other evangelist in history. Graham had a unique ability to connect spiritual truths with everyday observations, revealing the extraordinary in the seemingly ordinary. During his years of ministry, Billy Graham often observed how people of faith seemed to carry a kind of vitality that went beyond mere physical appearance. He noticed a pattern. Those who lived aligned with divine purposes often manifested a youthfulness that transcended the number of years they carried. The message we will study today is especially relevant in an era where we spend billions on anti-aging products, plastic surgeries, and aesthetic treatments. We live in a time obsessed with external youthfulness, but completely ignorant about the inner youthfulness that comes from spiritual alignment. What Billy Graham realized, and what we will explore today, is that looking younger than your age is not just a matter of favorable genetics or good health habits. It is a sign of something much deeper happening in the spiritual realm. It is an indication that you may be being preserved for a specific purpose, that your life is aligned with higher divine frequencies, and that you may be an heir to ancestral blessings that flow through generations. This message will challenge your perspective on youthfulness, leading you to understand that the true source of vitality is not in the products we apply externally, but in the condition of our spirit. We will discover why some people are spiritually preserved beyond their chronological age, and what this means for the purpose of their lives. Have you ever wondered why some people seem untouched by the passage of years? Why, while others show every battle on their face, certain people carry a freshness that defies the logic of time? Billy Graham reveals to us that this is not coincidence. It is divine preservation. You are being preserved for a purpose, Graham would say, with his firm and forceful voice. This is not a preservation that comes from creams or treatments, but a spiritual protection that keeps you young because your mission on earth is not yet complete. Think of the biblical example of Moses. Deuteronomy 34:7 tells us, Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak, nor his natural vigor abated. Even after decades of leading the people of Israel through the desert, facing countless challenges, Moses maintained his strength and vitality because his purpose had not yet been fulfilled. Similarly, when people look at you in amazement and say, "You don't look your age," what they are really witnessing is the divine shield over your life. It's as if God is whispering, "Not yet. I am keeping you strong because your work here is not finished." This completely changes our perspective on youthfulness, doesn't it? It's not just about vanity or aesthetics, but about divine timing and divine purpose. You are not just aging more slowly, you are being intentionally preserved for something greater. In a world that tries to wear us down daily with worries, stress, and anxiety, this spiritual protection is a living testimony of divine intervention. It is a demonstration that when we are aligned with our calling, we receive the strength needed to remain resilient, energized, and radiant despite life's challenges. Billy Graham reminds us that this vitality is not for our vanity, but for our testimony. It is tangible evidence that we have been touched by something beyond the natural. And this leads us to a fundamental question. Are you recognizing this preservation as a sign of God's purpose in your life? Or are you attributing it only to luck or good genes? Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians chapter 4:16, "Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day." This inner renewal is what overflows to the outside, manifesting as a youthfulness that defies chronological age. But this preservation comes with a responsibility. If you have been kept young and vibrant beyond expectation, ask yourself, for what purpose am I being preserved? What field do I still need to sow? What lives do I still need to touch? What testimony do I still need to give? As we advance on our spiritual journey, we will discover that this preservation is just the beginning. The true power lies in understanding that the youthfulness we carry externally is a direct reflection of the health of our spirit. As we will see next, Billy Graham understood a truth that modern science is only beginning to confirm. There is a powerful connection between our spiritual state and our physical appearance. When your spirit is aligned, when your heart is at peace, and your soul is nourished, your body responds. And this manifests in your skin, your eyes, your energy. When your spirit is aligned, when your heart is at peace, when you are walking in love and living with gratitude, your body follows suit, Graham would observe. This is not an abstract spiritual theory, but a reality we can observe in our own lives and in the lives of others. Have you ever met someone who, despite having gone through enormous difficulties, still maintains a light in their eyes? Someone who, even carrying decades of life, seems to have an energy that younger people do not possess? This is the power of spiritual alignment. Jesus himself spoke about this in Matthew 6:22-23. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. Although many interpret this passage metaphorically, there is a literal truth here as well. The condition of our spirit directly affects our physical being. Billy Graham realized that negative emotions such as stress, shame, anger, anxiety, and hurt are not just spiritual weights. They literally age our bodies. Stress will age you faster than time, he would say with conviction. When we carry these weights, our face shows it. Our eyes lose their brightness. Our posture stoops. On the other hand, when we live in peace, when we learn to release pain and walk in forgiveness, when we choose joy even in difficult circumstances, there is a luminosity that arises from within. This light is not cosmetic, it is spiritual. Think of Proverbs 17:22. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Ancient wisdom already knew that our spiritual condition directly affects our physical health. Gratitude removes years from your life. Joy softens the lines of expression caused by stress. Forgiveness alleviates the tensions that create wrinkles. And peace? Peace shines on your face like sunlight on the ground. When people look at you and perceive an inexplicable youthfulness, what they are really seeing is the reflection of a well-cared-for spirit. Because when the soul is clean, the face is clear. When the heart is luminous, the eyes shine. When we live in spiritual fullness, it manifests without any effort. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing peace even when it's difficult. It's about saying, I will not let this world steal my joy. I will not allow this situation to destroy my peace. I will not let remorse bind me to a moment that has already passed. This is how we remain young, both spiritually and physically. This alignment is not just a matter of personal well-being. The Bible teaches us in Romans 12:2 to not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This process of renewal affects our entire being, mind, spirit, and body. Now, as we explore the third and deepest spiritual meaning of looking younger than your age, prepare to discover an ancestral dimension that may be influencing your life in ways you never imagined. Billy Graham shared a profound revelation that few people understand. Some of the blessings we carry did not begin with us. The youthfulness we preserve may be the result of grandparents' prayers, the faith of ancestors, or seeds planted by generations that preceded us. Some of the blessings in your life were prepared by someone who came before you, Graham would say with the wisdom of one who understood the divine patterns of blessing. The reason you go through life with a kind of protection that keeps you looking and feeling younger than your age may be because you are reaping ancestral blessings. This principle is deeply rooted in Scripture. In Exodus chapter 26, God promises to show love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments. And in Proverbs 13:22, we read that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. These are not just material inheritances, but spiritual ones, legacies of faith, protection, and divine favor. Think of the times when you should have been broken, but something kept you whole. In the situations where you should have come out scarred by circumstances, but somehow emerged renewed. This is not just favorable genetics. It is divine grace, passed down through generations. Just as we inherit physical characteristics, we also inherit spiritual legacies. And although we do not see them written in wills or deposited in bank accounts, they are real. They manifest in the inexplicable peace we feel in the midst of storms, in the resilience we did not know we possessed, and in the joy that persists even when everything tries to break us. Billy Graham observed that some people seem to be under a kind of spiritual covenant. Their spirit has been marked. Their path has been protected. And this protection manifests not only in where you are, but in how you are. People do not always understand this. And that's okay. Divine favor does not always follow human logic. But what about those who do not come from families of faith? What about those whose family histories are marked by brokenness and darkness? Here is the beauty of divine grace. When you choose to break those negative cycles and walk with God, you begin to write a new chapter, to create a new legacy. And this kind of change brings with it a new kind of favor. In Ezekiel 18:20, God declares, "The son shall not bear the guilt of the father, nor shall the father bear the guilt of the son." Each generation has the opportunity to establish a new spiritual pattern. When you choose to live differently, heaven notices. And God not only blesses you, but blesses everything connected to you, including future generations. Perhaps you are the first in your lineage to walk in faith. Perhaps you are establishing a new spiritual standard that your children and grandchildren will inherit. The fruit of this decision may already be manifesting in your energy, in your spirit, in the way people look at you and see light where they expected to see despair. This understanding leads us to a profound responsibility. Every time someone comments on your youthful appearance or your vibrant energy, they are seeing the overflow of something divine. It's not about vanity. It's about alignment. It's about spiritual covering. It's about a favor that transcends human explanations. And you can be the one who carries this legacy forward, creating a new standard for those who will come after you. As Paul wrote to Timothy in 2 Timothy chapter 1:5, "I am reminded of your sincere faith, which first lived in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded now lives in you also." Paul recognized that Timothy's genuine faith was part of a spiritual inheritance passed down from generation to generation. As we approach the conclusion of this transformative study, we realize that looking younger than your age carries a much deeper meaning than we ever imagined. As we reach the end of this study, we realize that the youthful appearance that many carry is not just a matter of favorable genetics or good health habits. As Billy Graham revealed to us, it is a living testimony of a deep spiritual reality. You are not just defying the years. You are defying the wear and tear that comes from spiritual misalignment, from the burden of carrying things that do not belong to you, from unresolved anger or pain. You are making decisions, some big, some small, that protect your peace, fuel your joy, and nourish your soul. And now, the result of these spiritual decisions is visible in your physical reality. As we observed, there are 3 spiritual meanings for those who look younger than their age. First, you are being preserved for a divine purpose. Your youthfulness is a sign that your mission is not yet complete, that God is keeping you strong for a specific work on this earth. Second, you are living in spiritual alignment. The light that shines through your eyes, the energy that emanates from your being, are reflections of a spirit that has chosen peace over torment, forgiveness over bitterness, joy over resentment. Third, you may be walking under the covering of ancestral blessings, prayers of grandparents, faith of parents, or you yourself may be establishing a new spiritual legacy that will benefit future generations. This understanding completely transforms our view of youthfulness. It's not about appearance, it's about purpose. It's not about vanity, it's about testimony. You are not just living younger for your own satisfaction. You are living as a living message for a world that desperately needs hope. Billy Graham understood that we are called not just to exist, but to radiate, to show that there is a way of living that does not bow under the weight of anxiety, a way that chooses joy over resentment, a way that forgives, that frees, that breathes and trusts, a way that remains open to light even when passing through darkness. If you have been touched by this message and want to continue exploring deep spiritual truths that transform lives like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear these words and subscribe to our channel. Here, we study the messages of Billy Graham not as relics of the past, but as beacons for our present journey. Remember, the next time someone tells you that you don't look your age, smile and recognize that they are not just complimenting your appearance, they are confirming your calling. You are not just looking good, you are living as a message. Before we say goodbye today, I want to extend a sincere invitation from the bottom of my heart. If this message about divine preservation touched something within you, if you recognized in your own life the signs of an unfinished purpose, of spiritual alignment, or of an ancestral inheritance, do not keep this revelation just to yourself. Share in the comments a moment when you realized you were being preserved for something greater. Your story may be exactly what someone needs to read today to restore their hope or find their purpose. And if you know someone who is facing the weight of years with bitterness or discouragement, send this video to that person. Sometimes, a single message can completely change the way someone sees their journey. May you walk today with the renewed certainty that your youthfulness is a testimony, your vitality is a purpose, and your light is a legacy that will continue to shine long beyond the years you spend on this earth.